Hi, my name is Wendy Wright, and I'm the chair of the Department of Public Administration. And I would like to welcome you here, and let's do the next slide. Okay, what we're going to talk about today is, so you want an MPA. And today I'd like to introduce everybody. As I said, I'm Wendy Wright. I'm the chair of the department. Haley?
Haley Case, graduate program coordinator, helping out with the MPA program as well as the MBA and MS accounting programs.
Hi everyone, my name is Aaliyah Johnson. I am a student in the MPA department program, and I'm also a graduate assistant as well.
And I'm Steve Boudelier. I'm the department's administrative assistant.
Okay. After that, we'll have time for questions and answers. Okay. The mission of our department is to prepare future community leaders and managers. And we really do take this mission statement very seriously. All of the classes in our program do help prepare people for management positions in their organizations and also future community leaders. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on. These are some questions that we're going to try to answer today. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me or any of our professors or Haley. We're going to talk a little bit about what you can do with the Master's in Education. But right now I'd like to have Haley kind of talk about the difference between the Master's of Public Administration and the Master's of Business Administration.
Yeah, so working with both programs, you get kind of an idea of the setup of those as well as the students in both and what they're looking for out of either one. So just quick note in terms of programs, at Brockport in particular, the setup of each program is a little bit different. So for the MPA, it's a little bit more flexible. You guys have a little bit more choice in terms of when you want to take classes, which classes you want to take, more room for electives, and also choosing if you want to do online or in-person classes based on your preference. Versus the MBA at Brockport is an all-online program, which is an option still with the MPA, but all online cohort system with set classes each semester. And MPA, you can kind of speed up a little bit more or take it a little slower and go part-time, versus the MBA is less flexible, just at Brockport in general. And then the difference between the two is definitely what you're looking for out of either. For the MPA, often I say, if you're not interested in going to business, MPA kind of covers everything else. So we have different concentrations you can pick from, different electives, depending on the field you're interested in, whether it's healthcare, public administration, nonprofit, which is really beneficial. There's kind of a bit more flexibility there in terms of using it to go into different areas. Some people use that and still work at a business. Some people use their MPA to work in higher ed and things like that. So it's definitely a bit more flexible, I would say, in a lot of aspects, programmatic-wise, and also for future career options.
Let's let Aaliyah tell us how hard the MPA program is.
Well, with a master's degree, it's going to come with some expected challenges because of the level of the degree that you are obtaining. But what I will say about the MPA program specifically is that the professors that you have are going to make sure that whatever they are teaching you, that you're able to understand it and actually obtain the material in an effective way. We also, all of their offices are located in Brockport downtown. So if you do have any issues or concerns, you're able to access them a little bit more easier. Because they're all located in one place, and they do take the time out to actually sit down with you and go over the material and make sure that you're actually understanding it. So it is a little bit challenging just because of the level of the degree that you are obtaining, which you would want a master's to be a little bit challenging so that you're getting all of the information, but the professors will definitely work with you so that you're not overwhelmed.
Okay. And next slide. leads us right to the faculty. These are the full-time faculty in the program. Dr. No is a healthcare person. Dr. Kalai, help me with this.
Katie.
Yes, I can never pronounce her name. She teaches the research and organizational behavior classes. Dr. Baker does the foundation of public administration and public policy. Dr. Watt is the internship coordinator and the portfolio instructor. Dr. Hattery is the public management, and his area is more local government. Steve Hamner is our public or our poverty studies person, and he's also the director of IPSIT, which we'll talk about in a little while. And I do the nonprofit. These are a sampling of our lecturers. Many of these lecturers have been with us for quite a while, and all of them are professionals. So, for instance, Josh Bowers and Martin Moore and Brian White are actually city managers in the area. Phil Laporta is retired now, but he was a trainer for the city of Rochester. Fred Ryan is the emergency management coordinator for the Brockport, or SUNY Brockport. Alan Stilgis is she works at Causeway, which is a marketing firm for nonprofits. Aaron Wicks just recently changed jobs, and I used to be for the I can't think. And he is a doctor, and I can't remember where he is, but he is also a professional in the area of nonprofits. I'll let Haley go through all of these people. These are people that you'll need to know.
Yeah, so there's some support outside of the department, but within the college that we do work with. Some more than others, some you're working closely with throughout your whole time in the program. So to start, there's Dr. Heidi McPherson, the College of Brockport president, Dr. Dan Goebel, who is the dean of the School of Business and Management, which the MPA program is a part of. Mr. Michael Harrison is the director of the Center for Graduate Studies. When you apply, you work with the Center for Graduate Studies, and they help with a lot of processing of forms and things throughout your entire program. As you met already, Steve Boudier, Steve, you can help with that, is the administrative assistant. And then Ms. Lisa Robusto Mack is a facility and event coordinator. Mr. Kevin Montano is IT support, and he is at Brockport downtown and is really helpful with any of your needs working on the computer. And then Miss Margaret Pierce is a librarian that is directly supportive of Brockport downtown. Career Services, which is on the main campus, but does sometimes come out and is also not just for undergrads, it's also for graduate students. We have all of the MPA graduate assistants there, and we have Aaliyah on this call. And then there's me, graduate program coordinator, who helps with all three programs, but does everything from recruitment, admissions, advisement, that sort of thing.
And you also look at our resumes.
Yes, I can help with the career services things, and resumes, cover letters, whatnot. I'm helpful to the students in the program.
Okay. Thank you. Next.
I'm not sure if there's a lag on your side, but we're looking at the slide that says that we are the NASPA, part of the Network of Schools of Public Policy, Affairs, and Administration. It's our accreditation body, and it's the gold standards in terms of public administration. I believe in New York State, I think there's only two colleges that are NASPA accredited, and we are one of them right here in SUNY Brockport. And also on the slide, there's also links to our department website and graduate website.
And you'll get a copy of this PowerPoint, and you can just click on those as well. Okay. Part of what we, that guides us in our classes and our program are what we call core competencies. And these are from our accrediting body, NASPA, which Stephen just told you a little bit about. And this is what we feel are important for anyone that is working in the public sector as a manager. The first is lead and management in diverse organizational contexts. And we do try to take this into consideration in pretty much all of our classes. There's some aspect of leading and managing. To participate and contribute, I'll be talking a little bit later about the different types of emphases and what they are. But really what we want to be able to do is to really be part of the community and to contribute to the community and these emphases. Obviously, and to be able to analyze will make you able to make informed decisions. So many of our classes, for instance, financial management, that's a good way to really make some decisions that may be hard in organizations. To articulate, if you can't talk to people, you can't help people. So being able to articulate your program, to be able to do an elevator speech, for instance. These are important skills that we feel are any manager and leader must have. And finally, to be able to communicate in settings characterized by diversity. We want people that leave our program to be able to communicate on a lot of different levels. Things like being able to write reports is just one. Being able to do presentations, being able to do an op-ed for a newspaper, writing a good memo with as much information as possible within that memo. So there's a lot of communication that that we depend on. The ability to listen is also part of communication. So these are the core competencies. You'll find that most of your classes will have a list of the core competencies that they try to teach you about in each class. Okay. These are the emphases that we have, and what does it mean? An emphasis, you'll be taking 4 classes, that's classes that everyone takes. And then you'll be able to select one of these emphases, and you'll take at least 3 classes within that emphasis. Public management, that would be more for people that wanted to work in governments, especially local governments, county, city, town, and that's really one of our main emphases. Healthcare, if you wanted to work at a nursing home or a hospital or a doctor's office or anything like that, there's also a lot of nonprofits that deal with healthcare. This is one of our main emphases. Public safety would be things like working in the 911 center or police. We've had people, actually the chief of police in Rochester is an alum of the program. Nonprofit management is a broad spectrum of non-governmental organizations dealing with anything from JIVA, the school, the school of play, or the Museum of Play, Strong Museum of Play, to Trillium, to healthcare type organizations, foundations, the United Way, and so these are the types of organizations that we cater to. I'll let Aaliyah talk a little bit about poverty studies since that's her area of concentration.
Yeah, so like I said, I am in the poverty studies emphasis. And basically poverty studies, excuse me, you're taking core classes dedicated to researching the trends of poverty in the United States, and whether policies impact them or not. So if you're interested in like policy crisis or developing methods to decrease policy trends, and this may be a good emphasis for you. There are three core classes that go into it. We take economics, we take poverty alleviation, and we also take social policy, along with our actual core classes, and then the three electives. And although I am in the poverty studies emphasis, I am able to take my electives outside of the department. So currently I'm taking 2 electives in higher education. So it's a lot of flexibility in what kind of classes you're able to take, even though you may be in a certain emphasis.
Good, thank you. Next. The curriculum. We have 8 core classes. These classes would include things like leadership, financial management, organizational behavior, research, human resource management, and so forth. We'll put up a list later. Core emphasis, whichever emphasis that you would like to join, you will take 3 classes in that emphasis. They're all related to the emphasis. For instance, a nonprofit would have the foundation of being a nonprofit, marketing for nonprofits, and finally nonprofit management. But all of them are going to be similar to that. Electives are only in their emphases rather. Then you'll have 2 elective courses. You may take any course that you would like. So for instance, if you're not in poverty, or if you're in poverty alleviation, like Aaliyah said, she's taking a couple of classes even in another program. You can also take nonprofit classes, or you could take public safety classes, or we do have pure electives like negotiation, grant writing, and empowering organizations. So there's all sorts of classes that you can select to take. So there are, the big takeaway here is that you will have 13 classes that you're going to be taking. Okay, next slide. Which brings us to the point, how long will it take me to complete this program? You could do the program in 1 calendar year by taking 4 classes in the fall, 4 classes in the winter, 4 classes in the spring, and 4 classes in the summer. It takes some planning and strategy to do this, but it is certainly possible to do it this way. I would advise you to go to your advisor and do a really strict plan of study, but it is possible. Many of our students prefer going the 2 calendar year method, which means you would take 2 classes in the fall, each fall, 2 classes in the spring, 1 in the winter, and you have 2 summers to actually complete your program. It's very doable, in other words. And finally, 3 calendar year by just taking 1 class pretty much the whole time, except your last summer would be 2 classes. And what a lot of people do is they will wait to do what we call capstone on that last summer, which is almost like an independent study. You would work with a one-on-one with one of the professors, and they would help you through the internship or a portfolio. We are really pushing the internships because it will give you a lot more hands-on learning. These are the types of classes that you're going to be that are offered, and I'll let you look through these. Again, these are courses that we feel are important for any manager in just any kind of public management type of job. Things like leadership, policy, behavior, HR. These are all things that you will be using as a manager or a leader in your organization. Okay, next. A lot of one of the things that we are kind of famous for, I guess, is that we work with public organizations in class. Not only do you have an opportunity for internship, many of our classes will work with organizations, and you'll do different projects with that organization as part of your class project or part of your classwork. This one was a class in branding that was done over the summer, and the students are all pointing to their mentor, who was who works for our mapping, if you know about that place. But we do have a lot of good connection with a lot of the organizations in the Rochester area, and they do use our class to actually help them in their work, in their research and so forth. Okay? I'll let Aaliyah talk about this because this is something we're also very proud of. We do have a lot of networking opportunities, and we do kind of have a little here in the MPA program.
Yeah, so one of the things that I love about the MPA program is that you're not only focusing on your studies, there are opportunities for you to engage and network with the people in the department, as well as the students, faculty, graduate assistants, and the faculty department. We host different events. We do the MPA speaker series. We have the end of the year celebrations just to kind of bring in the end of the year and celebrate all the hard work that the students have been doing. The graduate assistants also host pub nights, which is an amazing opportunity for students to come out and we have one in the fall semester and one in the spring semester. The fall semester is a great opportunity for students to come out and network with the faculty members as well as other students. And then the one in the spring is only for students. So it's just a great way for you to come out. We host it at a local bar, and just for you guys to come out and enjoy yourselves. Then we have the ICMA student chapter, which is currently ran by one of our students, Sabata Harley. It's just a great way to also just connect with students in that sense. And then we do have the Pi Alpha Alpha Honor Society, which you have to have, I believe, a 3.7 GPA and I believe 28 credits. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Wright. And it's just another networking opportunity as well.
Right. The ICMA is a club. I just want to talk a little bit about that. ICMA is a national organization, and New York State has a really good active organization for city and county managers. There's 1 or 2 conferences a year, and students are invited to those conferences. It is an amazing opportunity to get to meet and greet current city and throughout the state. I can't talk about that enough, how many people get actually job interviews because they go to the ICMA conferences. So that is a really big deal. Pi Alpha Alpha sponsors a number of activities throughout the year, and it's a really good thing, number one, to put on your resume that you're in an honor society. And number two, again, the whole idea of being a great networking opportunity. And that's one of the things that, again, we're noted for. We have probably about 1,000 people in the Rochester and surrounding area that are alums of our program. This is, again, a great opportunity for you to meet and greet some of the movers and shakers of the Rochester area itself. We have over 600 people throughout the United States that are also MPA graduates. So when you join we've been around for 40 years. Let me just say it that way. We have an awful, great opportunity to meet your fellow alums when you get to that point. And again, it turns into jobs sometimes. All right, next. Some frequently asked questions. I think, Haley, you want to do this?
Yeah, sure. So just a couple that we have listed out, but obviously feel free to reach out if you have any further questions after seeing the presentation. But what type of classes are offered? I mentioned this a little bit when comparing MBA to MPA. There's a variety of classes offered, so fully online options if that works best for you, face-to-face if you prefer that, and then hybrid options that are a little bit of both, kind of on and off each week. Can you take all of your classes online? Yeah, for some of the MPCs, there is the opportunity to get all of your classes done entirely online if it works best for you. Or you can mix and match with more online, less online, whatever works for you. And then when can you start the program? If you're an undergrad at Brockport, you can take 4 of the classes to get ahead and kind of shorten your time in the program. And then otherwise, you can start all 3 semesters, so summer, spring, and fall, which is nice, depending on when works best for you and when works for your schedule. And then where are the classes held? We have a Brockport downtown campus, right downtown in Rochester, which is convenient for a lot of people who are working in the profession and might be located more there, a little bit more convenient to get to after work. And then how has the department responded to the current situation? I don't know if Leah, you'd like to speak a little bit more on that.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead, Leah.
I always think it's important to take a look at how whatever organization you're in or whatever college you're in to see how that college or organization is responding to situations or situations that may occur. So I think personally for me, as I'm in the department and actually at the college, I do applaud how the college has been able to respond, and especially how the department is able to respond to COVID-19. A lot of our classes, like Haley and Dr. Rice said, are online, and we have face-to-face and also hybrid. So we were a little bit more progressive when it came to switching over, just because we were used to teaching classes online or just being an online student as well. So that helps in these situations. But I also do want to mention that I've had professors reach out to me, just making sure that I'm okay and making sure that things are able to move the way we want them to move, and also just be lenient with the coursework that they're doing, because they want to take into consideration that students may not have access to internet or have access to a quiet place to work or learn. So they are very lenient in how they are distributing the coursework throughout the rest of the semester, which I think is very important.
Yeah, I think, although we have about 120 people in the program, we're still a pretty intimate program, and you really do get a chance to know your professors a little bit more. I just wanted to also say that we only have classes 1 day a week. All classes are from 5:30 to 8:15 if they're face-to-face or hybrid, and they're all either taught at that time. Occasionally there's a Saturday class, but we really do try to cater to adult students that have jobs. So all of our classes are held at night or online. So we are pretty flexible that way. I think these 3 A's, we were kind of sum it up. We are an applied program. We have what is called experiential learning, which means we like to have you work on real projects with real organizations. We try to engage everyone. We are affordable and flexible. We are a state school, so our tuition is pretty much fixed on state. If you need to know more about that, the website, the Brockport website, you go to tuition, and they will tell you exactly how much everything is. We're flexible to a point, and we do ask that you're flexible. So for instance, most of our classes in the summer and winter are either electives or your capstone class. We usually don't do core classes in the summer or winter sessions. Winter sessions are always online. So you have to kind of design your schedule around that fact as well. All of our core classes are taught both semesters, so you can take them in the fall and the spring. And the emphases classes are pretty much the same way. Sometimes they're not taught on both semesters, but they are taught within that year. Accessible and diverse, we do have very accessible. We do ask that you have access to Wi-Fi and computers, especially for everything, because we use a tool called Blackboard a lot. So a lot of things are posted on Blackboard. So if you're going to buy a computer to start with, we would, that's a good idea. We are diverse. We do have international students. We have people of color, and we have, not as many faculty as we'd like, although some of our adjuncts are people of color. But that is one of the things that we do work on quite a bit, is to make sure that we have a real diverse faculty and staff, and our students are very diverse. So I think is one of the pluses in our program as well. Okay? And now is the time for questions. So please feel free to contact me or contact Stephen with any questions. We will send out any information that we were not able to cover in this presentation. And feel free to contact either Stephen or I at any time.